Thermal tasters, that's something we've known about in more recent years. It's a strange phenomenon really. What happens is if you actually change the temperature on the tongue, some people kind of get this ghost taste. So it's not a true taste sensation in the sense that we haven't put a tastant in there. There's no sugar in there, there's no bitter compound in there, but that actual changing of the temperature of the tongue creates a taste sensation. Some people have this ability and have this thermal taste, and other people don't. And to be honest, we still need to know why. We don't thoroughly understand why people have this ability to be a thermal taster yet. Mouthfeel is about the way we perceive textures in the mouth. So if you think about describing something as creamy, that English word that covers so many things, the creamy mouthfeel sensation is something that you would experience, say, from a thick yogurt versus a thinner yogurt if it actually is creamy within the mouth. But I already said thick and thin there as well, and that would be another mouthfeel sensation. So some of those things are easy to measure, like we can measure instrumentally how thick or thin something is, and indeed when we put it into our mouth, we perceive it to be thin or thick. Sounds straightforward. Again, not so straightforward, because we actually move, of course, things in our mouth. So as you are holding a food in your mouth, you're manipulating it with your tongue, you're moving it around, and that actually starts to break a food down and shear it, and it changes the way that we perceive that mouthfeel sensation within the mouth. If you think about it, when you make custard, if you make an English custard with a starch, with a custard powder, when you stir it with a spoon, you can see it get thinner, can't you? And many foods are like this. They're not just constant in their thickness. As you stir it, it gets thinner. Similarly, when you put a food in your mouth, you start to change that food within your mouth. So as you manipulate it and chew it and move it around the mouth, you change the texture of the food, and therefore you change the way you feel that texture, that mouth feeling, the creaminess, the thickness. We could also discuss mouthfeel to be things like the crispy, crunchy sensations in the mouth as well, or how gummy something is. If you think about a wine gum or a chewy sweet, as you put it in your mouth, you first of all bite into it, and there's some hardness there, and you start to chew it, and some things are kind of elastic. They're like elastic band. It bounces back, like a gummy bear might bounce back in your mouth. Whereas something else, like a fruit chew, you bite it, and it doesn't have that elasticity. It just moves, and as you've started to chew it, and starts to flow in your mouth, and you manipulate it until you can swallow it. So all those sorts of sensations, hardness, gumminess, stickiness, creaminess, they're all our mouthfeel sensations.